Hello students, I hope you all are utilizing your valuable time. So I'm here with the third part of the video, and today in this video I will teach you about the important features of democracy. So let us start with the first topic. Now, moving ahead with the next feature of democracy is one person, one vote, one value. See, it is considered one of the cornerstone of any democracy, and it's mean that in a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote, and each vote must have equal value. Means the people, those who are going to cast their vote in the election, the value of vote should be equal for everyone, and everyone should be having the right to vote. Then only the equality can be maintained in any country. So there are many instances of denial of the equal rights to vote. Means there are many countries where you will find the people are not given the right to vote. Now example, before 2015 in Saudi Arabia, women did not have the right to vote, which means till 2015 in Saudi Arabia, the women were denied of right to vote. Means they were not allowed to vote in the assembly or in their country. But after 2015, they were provided the right to vote. So till that time, you can say that Saudi Arabia was not having a democratic form of government. Then next is Estonia. Estonia has made its citizenship rules in such a way that people belonging to Russian minority find it difficult to get the rights to vote. Actually, Estonia is a country that is in Europe, and earlier it was a part of Soviet Union, or you can say Russia. So many Russian minorities lives in Estonia. So these Russian minorities, they are not allowed to vote, or you can say they were having very too much difficulty in getting the right to vote in Estonia. So again, it's an example where you can say that here the democracy is not practiced. Next example is of Fiji. The electoral system is such that the value of an indigenous means the person who is origin of Fiji, means who belongs to originally in Fiji only, has more value than that of an Fijian. Means those who are Indian in the Fiji, they are not having the same value of vote which the Fiji is having. Means if any Fiji is giving vote, suppose example, if his vote is having value 1, then maybe the Indian Fiji value is having half. So you can say the value of the vote is not same for both. So again, they are, you can say that they were denied of their voting rights. So as you know that in a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote and each vote must have one value. Means all should be having one vote only and the value should be same. So the next important features of democracy is rule of law and respect for rights. So to explain this, I am taking the example of nation Zimbabwe. Since independence, Zimbabwe was ruled by ZANU-PF. Now what is this ZANU-PF? Actually, students, Zimbabwe attained independence from the white minorities in the year 1980, and since then the country has been ruled by the party ZANU-PF, which helped the country to fight for the freedom. Now, its leader was Robert Mugabe, who was ruling the country since the independence, and he was very popular among the people, but he uses unfair means, or you can say unfair practices, to win the election. And elections have been held regularly and always won by the party ZANU-PF. Over the years, means as the year passed, his government has changed the constitution several times, and they increase the powers of the president and make him less accountable. Means they have increased the powers of the president and he's not answerable to anyone. Even the opposition party workers were harassed and their meeting disrupted, and the public protests demonstrations against the government are declared illegal. Means no one is allowed to say anything or go against the government. They cannot demonstrate or protest against the government. Then even the televisions and radio are controlled by the government and give only the ruling party version. Means they have to say everything in the favor of the government. They cannot write or they cannot say anything against the government. Then independent newspapers are there, but the government harass those journalists who go against it. Means if any independent newspaper or journalists want to write or go against the government, they are also harassed by the government. Even the government has ignored some of the court judgment also that were against it, and they have pressurized the judges. Means they have pressurized the judges to change their decisions. So students, with the help of example of Zimbabwe, you must have understood that popular approval of the rulers is necessary in any democracy, but it is not sufficient. And popular governments can be undemocratic also, and even the popular leaders can be autocratic. So in the case of Zimbabwe, you have seen that it is not a democratic. Why? Because there was no citizen basic rights, there was no political opposition, and even the judiciary is under the control of the government. And as you know that in any democracy or any democratic form of government, there should be a sufficient room for the political activities, and the people should have the equal rights, and even the rights should be protected by the judiciary. Then a government rule within limits set by the constitutional law and citizens' right. Means a democratic government is that where the government works within the limits of the constitutional laws and they work for the citizens or for the people of the country. So students, through a series of example, I have told you the important features of democracy. So you must have understood that a democracy is that form of government where the rulers are elected by the people who take all the major decisions, and elections must offer a choice, or you can say a fair choice, where the opportunity to the people is given to change the current rulers, and the choice and opportunity which is provided to the people should be available to all the people on the equal basis, and the government is limited by the rules of the constitution. So here I have finished the meaning of democracy and its feature. Now in the next lecture or in the next video, I will tell you about that why some people favor the democracy and why some people are against the democracy. Thank you.